Hello and welcome back to part 2 of No Holds Barred this week. It's a unique situation for us. We haven't done this before, but there's two reasons why we're back. Psychics Corner, yeah. There's two reasons why we're back again. The main one is that we lost about 30% of Sal's audio and video from yesterday's recording. I don't know what happened, but we're just going to recap what we said there yesterday afternoon, go over that and prove that we predicted what happened with reform. And then we're just going to catch up with there's some minor news, I think, broke overnight about America. So we might have a little chat about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Intrinsically linked, I think, but you know.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, yeah, do you want to start with the Freedom Flotilla? Because that's kind of where it was cutting off yesterday.
Yeah, I just wanted to make everybody aware, and if they didn't know, that a load of activists, including Greta Thunberg, it's about 12 of them, I think, have got a second ship after their first one was bombed by the IDF, and are basically taking it to Israel. They're going to Palestine. They've got a relative small amount of food and supplies to take over to the people of Palestine, bless them. And they're playing chicken with the IDF, but they're not going to stop. And Israel have already said they won't let them dock. So it's the most tenuous, is that the right word? It's not tenuous, is it? It's very tense situation because neither side's going to be willing to back down. One side has weapons, the other side are entirely peaceful. And I think this is the biggest challenge Israel have had because they don't know how to handle this. This is what lunatics can't handle, is rational people doing the right thing and refusing to stop. And they don't know how they'll... Yeah. I'm very, very, very concerned for everybody aboard that ship. But whatever happens, I think it could be the thing that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah,
I hope it is.
Yeah, I agree. It's sort of coming up against someone like Greta Thunberg with so much attention focused on her and global media presence. It could be that the start of something that could start opening the doors, maybe, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see, but it's potentially a really good thing if they're able to get anywhere close to Gaza and start highlighting some stuff that's going on. Yeah.
I tell you, what was I listening to last night? Oh, I was listening to somebody. It might have been a pod, or it might have been Paul Joe. I'm not sure. Anyway, the planes that the RAF are using to help spy over Palestine turns out are transport carriers.
Right.
So while they're doing their aerial surveys of Palestine, they could easily be chucking food at the plane. And what are Israel going to say about it? We'll declare war on the UK. Oh, yeah. But we're not, and they wouldn't. And
no, they wouldn't.
What the?
Yeah, I mean that would solve a problem, wouldn't it? I mean, two birds with one stone and that, but I don't know.
It's so disgusting.
That's the problem with that entire situation, is it's so closed off, isn't it? Like there's absolutely zero noise escaping from Gaza, none.
But more than that, they literally are caged in and there is no escape. It's not like any other war on the planet where people can try and cross borders. They don't have that option. They are penned in. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. That's why it's genocide. Jesus Christ.
I know. They're penned in and everyone else is penned out. And because of this, again, like on any other war, there's no, foreign correspondence on the ground. There's no one able to get anywhere close to the situation to report accurately what's actually happening. So I think, what we hear is, the bits that do get out, I assume it's probably going to be 1,000 times worse than what we're sort of actually seeing.
There's got to be a lot of people going to The Hague for this. There's got to be. Otherwise, there's just the world is lawless.
I know, it's just mad, and it's very, very sad and depressing. So let's hope that the Freedom Flotilla, what's the boat called? It's called the Madeleine. You can track it online if you want to have a look. But Google Freedom Flotilla. Greta Thunberg's obviously a brilliant person. What she's done for climate activism, if she can now apply that to this situation and get some doors opened or at least some light shone upon it, then it would be a brilliant thing. So
the bravery of these people's just absolutely first class.
Yeah.
But that kind of takes us over to America a bit, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
I don't think Israel's in the first thing in the mind of Trump at the moment.
He's got.
We've
some
had
issues,
a double
right?
falling out overnight, haven't we? A double falling out of people that mirror each other in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Two populist megalomaniac egos have had a bit of a kicking overnight, really. One being Nigel Farage and one being Donald Trump. So yeah, I think Trump is the funniest, I think, because it's on such an epic scale. Like with the man who bought him the election effectively is now sort of standing up against him and saying, no, what did he say? You're on the Epstein list. So that's pretty.
It's a bit like the emperor realizing he's completely naked.
Yeah, maybe. But
I mean, they've got so much on each other. I think I said on Twitter yesterday, I've never actually witnessed mutually assured destruction playing out the destruction.
Yeah, I know.
This is well.
The funniest thing I saw overnight on Twitter was I can't remember the name of the account. A few people said it. If you know it or follow hip hop, it's like the Kendrick versus Drake beef, but both of them are Drake. It's like they're just two really bad guys.
As much as Drake is quite a funny joke, especially in the MMA circle, everybody there was like a 3-year run where everybody Drake bet on lost. And it became a thing that if Drake's betting on you, you're done. And the only people who broke it were Molly and Paddy. And he sent them a Rolex. But that's by the by.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I'm not sure that's fair on Drake, because this is a brilliant case study for anybody who's interested in what happens when narcissists can't get their way and lose their minds. Yeah. And they know that there's no bridge they won't burn.
Yeah.
And there's very little pulling them back at the level they are, which is like top of the pyramid. Dark triad narcissistic psychopathy. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, certainly is. I think I heard earlier that they're trying to have some chat today about sort of reconciliation and sort of very early kind of divorce proceeding chat.
I think the genie's out the bottle now.
Exactly. I know that's the problem with being so public, and you know. Like they both own a social media network, and they're both using their own social media platform to attack each other. You can't
Trump's
put stuff
crashed,
out.
didn't it, last night?
Oh yeah, Trump's went down because it's built on
shit.
Yeah, it's built on nonsense technology anyway. Nobody uses it apart from him. So, yeah. So washing your dirty laundry in public is not the best of plans, as far as I can see for them.
To be fair, though, it's not their dirty laundry, is it? It's everyone's dirty laundry when you're part of an international sex trafficking ring.
Very true. Very true.
For which there's loads of evidence that the US government won't release.
Yeah. Well, there's loads of evidence of Trump and Epstein together, like all over the shop. Many, many videos with him together. So I know.
If anybody wants to get up to speed on the Epstein scandal, Whitney Webb, who is on Twitter, I think she's _Whitney Webb, and she's on YouTube all over the shop. She is the best investigative journalist I've probably ever come across. She's incredible, and she's been all over this for years.
Cool.
So
yeah. Well, I'll put a link in if I after the show. So have a look in the show notes. We'll link to her Twitter account or her social media, YouTube. Go and have a look.
Sorry, I've just remembered what I couldn't remember before. Trump's basically booted Musk and all his companies out of the government, haven't they? Well, that was his kickback initially.
That's the talk of what's going to happen. Like he's going to cancel all the government subsidies and contracts, which is billions of dollars. Steve Bannon got involved, I think, last night, didn't he? He said deport him, basically. So they're going to find out that.
Both.
I think the reading I saw was that Musk came to America borderline illegally, and so
of course.
Yeah. So he came on a student visa and overstayed and basically never left. So technically, Trump could get ICE involved and off you go, Elon. He's out. But we'll see if it comes to that or not. But I don't know. But that's what Steve Bannon was tweeting last night. He wanted Trump to deport him immediately. Wow. Talk about extreme reaction.
Mental. I don't think that's extreme. I mean, if all things being equal, he's a terrible human being who you wouldn't want in your country having anything to do with it anyway.
No, he is.
Except he goes, I've got all this money.
Well, yeah, that's it. And Musk clapped back and said, well, get rid of me, you get rid of the International Space Station. He said you won't have access to the ISS.
Well, he keeps blowing up spaceships. Okay.
Yeah, but he does get people back and forth to the space station sometimes when it doesn't blow up. So
Bezos doesn't blow up, use him. You got NASA? What did NASA do?
That's the problem. Like Trump's allowed him to kind of usurp NASA, hasn't he? He's like, well, SpaceX is now the preferred supplier of space stuff, and NASA's had all its funding taken away from it. So, if I don't know. This is just a public bitch fight, isn't it? Who knows what's going to happen, but it's enjoyable to watch. This is how bad
politics has got. I mean,
yeah, it is.
This is mental. This is. I don't know. It's an era that's going to be written about for hundreds of years after we're dead.
Yeah, for sure. I think was it last week with Tan or the week before with you? I can't remember. I said that in 100. No, it was with Tan.
So interchangeable.
No, but I said about
what?
I said in 100 years' time, when people look back on this and go, "What the fuck happened? How did you let that 20-year period actually take place?" It just doesn't make any sense.
I hope it's 20 years. I hope it's only 20 years.
That's my thought. I think. Tam was a bit less optimistic and thought maybe AI would have rewritten history by 100 years' time. But I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, what was I? That was it. Somebody, I heard at some point that, Putin might cut the energy wires into the UK. Okay, let him cut the electricity off. That'd be lovely. We can enjoy that for a couple of weeks. Smash him. Thanks. It'll improve everyone's mental health.
Yeah, it would. I'd be all right. I could cope. I say that now. I definitely couldn't. I'd be struggling after about an hour.
No, I'd be sound.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, as long as it doesn't just happen to me, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
If everyone's in the same boat, COVID, because I locked myself down 6 months before COVID even came along because I was so poorly. And then literally, when you stop the world, I want to get off, and then, it stopped.
It's actually stopped now.
Everyone's doing it. Everyone's in my boat. Well, this is great. In a way, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I didn't mind.
I can cope if it's
COVID.
everyone.
Yeah. I think my as a cub leader, I think I should be all right in terms of survival skills, but I wouldn't want to put that to the test. So I think more tricky for me would be dealing with my Minecraft addicted son. It'd be good for him.
It would. It'd be good for all the kids. But anyway, let's not give the man ideas.
Yeah, no, that's true. Let's not preempt it and stop manifesting stuff. Everything we talk about seems to happen.
I heard one of us is going to win the lottery next week.
I'm going to get it tonight. I think it's about 200 million quid. I think I might just go and buy a ticket later.
I have just had a text off a friend that I didn't open it. It just said you've got to be in it to win it, and he sent a photo. So I'm assuming he's bought a ticket.
Yeah, it's a huge one. So yeah, maybe it's worth it because everything we predicted, we talked about yesterday, which leads us on a little bit to the other half of the world's most funniest far right meltdown evening, was Reform yesterday, wasn't it? Their chairman, who we talked a lot about in part one. I talked a lot about making stuff up, figures, and the crazy Doge and Dolge or whatever they call it now. He resigned last. Yeah, they resigned. And not only did he resign, Crypto Bro, that I took bloody ages researching like in the week, has also resigned. So
it was worth it. At least we know who he is, because he'll crop up again, I've no doubt.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back. But he jumped ship as soon as Yusuf jumped ship. So Zahir Yusuf has handed his keys in to Reform chairmanship, and off he goes into the sunset.
It's a lot of money he wasted, wasn't it?
It was a lot of money. I think that's one of the points that is being missed. He's put an awful lot of his own money into that company. And I think I saw...
Which is unusual for him to suddenly just up and leave after investing, what was it, 200,000 or something?
Yeah, and the rest, I reckon. I think more than that he's probably put in. But I think it's down to him calling Sarah Potchin dumb online. And that's what we said yesterday. It was always going to happen with him, because the racists in Reform couldn't bear having a person called Mohammed at the top of their tree. They just couldn't cope with it.
But it does show that I'm quite surprised, because I didn't think he'd be remotely principled enough to do that. I thought he'd just keep his head down and pretend it didn't happen. So it's very interesting that maybe there's like a little chink of a human being in there who's like, maybe. Okay, I don't even know if he is Muslim, but even if he isn't, it's still people who look like him she's attacking.
Yeah, completely.
By and large, obviously, you get Muslims of every colour. We're all aware of that, but
yeah, absolutely.
The greater proportion of Muslims, I presume, are Asian.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
that's the thing. He's taken so much racist abuse, during his time at Reform. Makes you wonder what the sort of end goal of it all was for him, to sit there and be this sort of like focus of racial hatred from a large part of their party, that he was then going on TV trying to pretend weren't there. It's a strange one.
Maybe. You see, I'm struggling with the chronology because I've got a wonky brain, as we know, but maybe it was a bit vanity project, and a bit he saw what was going on over the water and thought, this is ridiculous. We're not the same, even though we're pretending to do exactly the same thing on exactly the same day.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I just read just before we came on, there's another guy that Reform brought in, or allegedly brought in, called Nick Candy. Do you remember him?
Oh, he's married to the neighbour's woman. Yeah.
That's right. Holly Vallant. Is it Holly Vallant?
Neighbour's woman.
Holly Vallant. Yeah. And he was the one that was pictured during COVID at a Tory party during lockdown with all the Tories, because he used to be a huge Tory donor. He's a billionaire, British billionaire. And Nigel Farage nicked him. So he stole Nick Candy from Boris Johnson, and he stole Lord Bamford from Boris Johnson as party donation machines.
Lord Bamford and his $500,000 debt to HMRC.
Yeah, tax. No, let's say some tax queries around Lord Bamford, definitely.
He owed HMRC £500 million, and he moved abroad to escape it. He said,
"Oh yeah." But
traitor,
I just saw before
an absolute traitor, like they all are.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, maybe. I just saw though that Nick Candy, who made a big show of joining Reform, went to America with Farage to sit down with Trump and Musk. This was earlier this year or the beginning or end of last year, but anyway, he's not stumped up any cash to Reform that he promised. He was promising 7 figures, millions of pounds to Reform, and as of a post I read about half an hour ago, he's yet to put a single penny to them. So I think the wheels are, if not falling off, certainly wobbling.
The golden carrot is rotting.
Yeah, exactly. It's what we said yesterday, though. There's the fracture in Reform's widening quite quickly, and we said that yesterday, but we couldn't have predicted
and all
quite
the
how
councillors
fast.
are falling in.
Yeah, exactly. And now there's like a massive online scrap from. I haven't been online much this morning, a little bit, but from what I could see, like I wrote something before I left the house this morning, which was about the change of name at Companies House of Reform. There's been some shenanigans behind the scenes.
Reform 2025 now, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they
didn't we
changed
look
it.
that up when I was looking up the shares and stuff?
We did.
Yesterday.
And then I looked at it this morning and it had changed back. And then there was a name change on the 16th of May. So like less than a month ago, 2 name changes. So I've got to do a bit more reading about this because it's not right. It's something weird going on. And they keep changing the name between Reform Party UK Limited, Reform UK Party Limited, Reform 2025. It's just a mess. But anyway, I posted this morning about how I think there's some dodgy shenanigans going on with the Companies House side of it. And just to highlight how the split in Reform is happening, in the far right, hard right are angry with the hardest of the right of Reform are angry with the middle hard right of Reform. Do you know David Atherton, the guy?
Yeah.
He reposted my tweet this morning about Reforms. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For anyone who's not watching us on YouTube, it's well worth going on to YouTube just to see Sal's reaction there, because it's
this makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like Elon Musk retweeting you.
Yeah. It's a schism opening up. And like yesterday I got followed by Beverly Turner, and
that was weird.
And then today David Atherton's reposting me. So there's a strange disconnect between all sides of Reform and the far right. So watch this space,
I'd rather have Anthea, if I'm being honest. She's a sister.
Yeah. Are they sisters?
Yeah.
Are they? I did not know that. I had no idea.
20 years ago, I used to watch a bit of daytime TV.
Yeah, fair enough.
Then I grew up.
But well, that's news to me. So
yeah, you learn something new. Every day's a school day.
It is indeed. Yeah, so weird stuff is afoot with the right and the far right and the ultra hard right. So we shall see.
Well,
by this time,
do you know whose opinion I want to hear, Don?
Go on.
I want to hear the opinion of frequent LBC caller Daniel from Golders Green.
Oh, that's interesting. I need to get a segue jingle or something.
Just did it.
Yeah, I'll record that and put a little bit of music under it. Yeah. Let's think about what LBC caller Daniel might say. This is a part we talked about yesterday, but it got cut off, and it's worth just a little bit of going over again because I found it quite funny. Caller Daniel, if you listen to LBC, is quite well known. If you listen to it a bit, you'll have heard him on almost every show he phones in to talk about Reform and how amazing Reform are, and he has all the latest Farage facts, and he's on speed dial as far as I can tell. And I tweet, he rang into LBC a few days ago. No, sorry, that's not what happened. A caller rang into Tom Swarbrick's show on LBC a few days ago and basically put it to Tom Swarbrick about caller Daniel and saying, how is it? It's not very easy for people of Labour supporting or Green supporting to get through when you've always got caller Daniel on the line from Golders Green to big up Reform. And Tom Swarbrick had a bit of a flap. He didn't really know what to say and just ignored it and carried on. So I pointed it out to Tom Swarbrick on Twitter that this has happened, and we all know about caller Daniel. He's quite well known, and that Tom was busted basically on LBC. And Tom replied to me and said, "Oh, you're a complete clown, Don." I thought, "Oh, right,
you're pointing out facts, you clown."
I know. And LBC's one of the most prominent presenters is going online to be derogatory and calling people clowns because they pointed something out to him that he didn't like. Yeah. So yesterday, Thursday, that was yesterday, I spent 20 minutes looking through Google, Bing, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, various other places. Just did a few searches to see if I could find caller Daniel. And lo and behold, within 20 minutes, I think I'd found 18 different online clips of caller Daniel.
Wow.
Calling into LBC. And he started out life as a Tory. He was very pro-Tory in 2020. But then as reform started to become more and more popular, he's now very
Jump ship.
reform. Yeah. And he even got an article right up in the Daily Mirror, a website online, because he called in to show that Kemi Badenoch was on, and he had a go at her about it and said she wasn't as good as reform or something. So
you don't think he's a client journalist posing, do you?
Yeah, this is it. He's definitely on the speed dial over at LBC Towers, is caller Daniel. He's either from Golders Green, Stoke Newington sometimes, or once or twice he's been from Basingstoke. So, yeah, caller Daniel. He's an interesting character. And if you listen to LBC for any length of time, you will hear him at some point talking about reform. He's a reform
I have to avoid
basically.
LBC at the minute. It makes me want to punch a wall most of the time.
Yeah, I've gone right off it at the moment. I don't listen anywhere near as much as I used to. I'm back to just listening to music most of the time because I can't bear the reform propaganda.
I meant to ask, just as a bit of an aside, because I didn't keep up on it, was there any clapback from James O'Brien when Sangeeta released that statement?
Not as far as I'm aware.
So he just kept silent. Probably the wise choice.
I think the wise move, yeah.
But that's the other reason. I mean, that I didn't like listening to them when she was on it. It used to make me punch a wall, but I did listen to it. Then I sort of went off it a bit, but I quite like James Rob. And then she released that statement. I just thought, what the why would you do that? Why would you make your entire personality about being the man who admits his mistakes and rights his wrongs? And then you're knowingly and willfully doing that to a woman.
Yeah.
Who's literally been sidelined and silenced.
Yeah.
So basically James O'Brien is playing that character. It's not who he is.
Yeah, I said that online a couple of weeks ago.
Another one.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right with James O'Brien. I think he's just there for the money. I think, which is a shame because, I mean, I don't listen to him so much because of various reasons. He's just very repetitive, and
you have to be though, don't you?
Yeah, and I agree generally with most things he says. The content I agree with. It's just not the way he does it. But there's been, I think, 2 callers or maybe even 3 that have got through to his show and challenged him on the Sangeeta situation, and he
loses shit, doesn't he?
Yeah, each time he can't cope with it.
And that's how you know he's in the wrong, because it hits his nerve.
Exactly. And I asked Ben Kentish a few weeks ago. Ben Kentish said something about...
Seriously?
Yeah, it was on Twitter, but he said something about...
no, it wasn't. Sorry, I was talking to the cat, not you then.
That's fine.
Being a pest.
Yeah. That's all right. I asked him the same question. I was like, "Oh, well, we all know about LBC's omerta that you have around Sangeeta leaving," and he said, "Oh yeah, stop talking rubbish, Don. You're just falling for the conspiracy theories or something."
Like, gaslighting prick.
I thought he was one of the better of the remainder left at LBC as well, but he's obviously just fallen into that.
Well, he's got to be there. They can't have everybody sitting on like sort of the light right, can they?
No.
So they're supposed to go. And is Ollie still doing it? Ollie Dugmore?
I haven't heard him for a lot.
I've got a hunch. He used to do like the graveyard shift, but I'm sure they said something on Paul Joe the other day that he's not working for them anymore.
I don't think so. I used to listen
to him, because Jesus, but
yeah, he was on early mornings on Saturday, Sunday, and I'm always up at like 5 o'clock, so I used to hear him some mornings, and I don't think I have heard him for a while. So yeah, I'm not sure. I have to double check.
It's a shame because I think he's great, but they're obviously building something else.
Yeah, there's a theme. There's a massive theme at Global, and we know which way it's going. It's only kind of leaning one way, so, and that's to the right, big time.
Okay, this is just annoying.
Yeah, it's a shame because I remember, not so long ago in the afternoons where Tom Swarbrick is now, we used to have Eddie Mair, and Eddie Mair being one of the better broadcasters that's ever been on radio. And then now we have that. So anyway, we have, it's tough to listen to now because in the week when I used to listen to it a lot, and you got Nick Ferrari, he's always been a Tory, but I've always managed to listen to him, but he's now gone fully reform. James O'Brien, well, he's the same as he's always been, but then we get sort of
Concrete Mike
genocide hour every day with Sheila Fogarty, and then Tom Swarbrick's Reform Radio every day at 4 now as well. So bad days.
Now
at
I want
LBC.
to go and listen to it and ring in.
Yeah, you should do it. I've never.
I don't think my nerves could take it. Right now, maybe one day. I've tried before. I was on hold for something ages ago. I think they were wanging on about like how terrible druggies are.
Right.
And I wanted to ring in and explain to them that the alcohol isn't the fucking problem.
Yeah,
but that's enough. That's another. Oh God. Okay, that's another story.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'd get through on LBC. I don't fit the profile. You need to have a certain, unless you're very lucky to get through. But they're heavily
Claire
filtered.
got on a couple of months ago.
Did she?
She had a chat with Sheila Fogarty about basically employment issues and because her son's got a double first and can't get a job and stuff like that.
Yeah, we talked about her. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, people do get on. We have proof. Just they clearly have their faves.
Oh yeah, for sure. There was only one other thing we got cut off that we haven't talked. I know there's two, but basically I wanted to mention a couple of weeks ago. I've lost him now. I asked for some questions.
JP
for the pod, yeah, and so JPC asked me a question on X. He's awesome. Go and follow him at JPXAN71. And he asked me, can you tell me exactly who Gawain Towler is and what his relationship is with Reform? Why he's branded as a former strategist and yet fucking everywhere chatting shit for them. So
he's awful. He's just so awful.
This morning. I heard him this morning on LBC. He was on with Lewis Goodall this morning again. I asked Gawain Towler what he did. Where is he? I asked him what his role was in Reform, and he did reply to me, and he said, none. He said, an ordinary party member, but with media access, which we all know is just a load of rubbish. He did say this morning he was on to talk about Zaya Yusuf resigning, and he said, well, I'm not going to say an awful lot because Zaya Yusuf was the one that sacked him from Reform not that long ago. So Towler's just I bet he's a spokesperson for Reform, whether he's being paid or not.
But can you imagine if that was Lee Anderson in his seat? And Yusuf had sacked Lee Anderson, he wouldn't sit there and say, maintain a respectful silence because he knows he's biased. He would go for it. So that's quite interesting.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he's been with UKIP, then the Brexit Party, and then Reform since, I think, 2004. He's been there
UKIP.
all the way. Farage's entire journey, he's been
because that's all they are.
His side. Well, yeah, of course they are. Every single time, UKIP. So JP, that's what he is. He's just a spokesperson, but he's pretending not to be because Zaya Yusuf sacked him. So, no, I don't think there's anything more to add other than that, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's got no mirrors in his house. We know that much.
Yeah, he looks like he's come from an episode of Peaky Blinders. So,
yeah. No, so because it's funny you brought him up because I saw him on Pol Live. I don't even know when the clip was from. But my God, he's not bright.
Yeah.
Give me an ounce of their confidence. That's all I want.
Well, this is it. I mean, but he's private school educated, as they all are. I'm just looking at him. Yeah, Claysmore School in Dorset, private school, and then went to the University of York, where he was a Tory. And obviously, all Tories, we all know, go to Reform in the end. It's their happy place where they go to end their careers. But yeah, I mean, he's private school elite, as they all are, same as every single one of them. And
I tell you what I did see. I think it's UKIP adjacent. I'm not going to call them Reform anymore because they're basically just UKIP and they behave exactly the same and they have the same people in there. But I saw that is it Nick Tashoni? What's his name? Nick Taconi?
Oh yeah, Nick Taconi. Yeah.
He He and his gang of boys got into a vehicle and drove to Calais to abuse immigrants.
Yeah, I saw
That's
it.
all they did. They stood there and they shouted at them and they got chased away.
Yeah,
Why?
they got booted out
What's
by
your
the French
fucking
police.
point? Why have you left British soil to go to a foreign country to shout at other foreigners that have got nothing to do with you, you sad little baldy man?
I know. Yeah, he's
just
this
bullies, school bullies who never grew up.
I know. He's the spearhead of the, in inverted commas, new UKIP. And he's...
There we go. There it is.
He's going hard
I did
down
not know that.
Yeah, he's the spearhead of the new UKIP, and he's really hard on the Christian nationalist. That was a Freudian slip. Christian nationalist.
Well, they are fascists.
Same thing. Yeah,
only fascists go and shout at people on a different continent.
Yeah, definitely.
Country rather, but you know.
But yeah, he's the one that's trying to take it like the hard right over from, you know, the Britain First failures, Paul Golding idiots and all that stuff. So,
but they're neither correct nor hard.
No.
Honest, all it takes is like somebody with an iron will and no fear to just stand up to them and go, no, you're wrong because of this, that and the other. And they drop. They just shit out. It's because they think people are going to be too scared of them. That's what, it's all their own irrational fears played, like projected onto other people. That's all it is.
Completely. Well, there's that guy, James Goddard, who was Tommy Robinson's mate, and he came up to Liverpool, I think it was, and he ended up getting chased up a tree by two Scouse women, which was quite funny because they were like, get the fuck out of our city.
Do you know what? It's really difficult talking about fascism with Liverpool because mostly they get humiliated. I remember one year we had like a little kiosk for like leave your baggage, and about 12 of them ended up getting locked in there with the shutters down to protect them. Except for last year when I went down to do the anti-fascist demo, and it was horrific. I've never experienced anything like it, and they did kind of get away with it that day, and I hate that. Right. So it used to be a little funny joke, fascist in Liverpool, best of luck, lads. But then we had Farage riots and George Farage last year.
Yeah.
And I've never witnessed scenes like it. And with the best will in the world, I don't think 3/4, and I'm being generous, of those people could explain to you what the left and right of politics is.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
So, you know.
Just following the herd.
I'm angry, I'm broke, it's been like this for ages, who can I shout at?
Yeah,
everyone said 100%. It's their fault. Oh, okay then.
Yeah, let's go and smash up a Greg's. Yeah. Yeah, for now, I'm not really sure what else I have left to consider. I think we've covered everything.
We don't know what's happened while we've been online, to be fair, do we? America could have declared anything, so let's just have a quick sweep.
Yeah, Trump
because this is the beauty of modern technology, Don. It blows my mind, and that's half the problem.
Trump could have nuked SpaceX by now, and we wouldn't know.
If you want to nuke anywhere, I've got a suggestion, but I'm a pacifist, so I don't talk about things like that.
No,
it's just how my head feels sometimes. Oh, come on.
Oh, I know what it was. And while you're searching that, I'm just going to quickly look it up.
News just in.
What? Go on.
Sorry.
That sounds good.
They're so stupid.
Oh no.
Musk proposes new party amid Trump feud.
Oh God.
That'll be quick for a solution.
Oh, wouldn't it? What's he proposing? The party of what? Even more fascist?
Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, hinted at the possibility of forming a new political party in the US following public disagreements with President Donald Trump. Oh, the feud escalated when Musk criticised a spending bill and Trump responded by threatening to terminate Musk's government contracts, leading to Musk threatening to decommission a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. This comes amid allegations from Musk that Trump's name is Epstein. Well, it's just an absolute shit show, isn't it?
Isn't it just? Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Things are... Oh, yeah. Just...
And to all our Muslim friends, happy Eid.
Oh, yeah, Eid Mubarak, definitely. Yeah, it starts today, doesn't it? So, for sure. Yeah, Yeah, I think that's all I've got really for today. I'll put this out as part 2, and then maybe we'll think about doing two a week, slightly shorter versions.
Yeah,
it might be quite a good idea. It's just the news moves so quickly, doesn't it? We said a few times at the beginning we weren't sure if we did have enough to talk about every week, and after 8 episodes we're on to 2 a week. So yeah,
that's a moving feast, isn't it?
It is, and we're still gathering support and gathering followers, which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you to everyone who's listening and watching. Every single bit of it is appreciated. And we love it. Yeah, if you could just spread the word.
The truth.
Yeah, that's it. Get the love out. Spread the love. Spread the truth. So, yeah, give us a review. That would be nice. And
if you've got any specific topics you'd like us to cover or talk about or give our opinions on, just make a comment or ask us any questions. We're very interactive.
Absolutely right. Yeah. So get us on YouTube, comment under our Spotify posts. We're both pretty active on Twitter, X, so that's a good place to start.
And we're on Instagram now, not that I've done a lot with it, but _, NoHoldBarredPod, I think. You'll see the logo. Don's brilliant logo that you can spot from outer space.
Yeah, that's the whole plan. And I'm going to get some badges made up, so we'll have some merch soon. I forgot to tell you that. I could
probably make them.
Yeah, crafty.
So, do I want to? That's a different question.
Well, I wrote something the other day that got me thinking about it, about how Reform aren't even using, Tufton Street think tanks. They're using Tory think tanks. But I compared it to like Tufty Club. Do you remember the Tufty Club?
No, I'm a little bit too young, even though we're the same age, but it never actually hit my radar. So I've heard of it, but it was more my mum's era, I think.
Oh, it was my era.
When everything was black and white.
Yeah. I'm only 50, but I remember being part of the Tufty Club.
Oh, I thought we were the same age. You're so much older than I am.
I know, yeah.
By about 14 months.
Oh, right, yeah, fair enough. That must have been the cut-off for the Tufty Club. We're alienating really younger viewers here with the Tufty Club chat. But, yeah.
All I want for my 50th is 100,000 followers, Don. That's all I want.
Oh, nice. Well, how long have we got to then? What year?
Next August.
Okay, that's doable, I reckon.
Not this one, next one.
Yeah.
Not this one, the one
Fine. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, well, let's if everyone's listening can share it with 2 other people or 3 other people. Awesome. That would really make a big difference. So yeah, get out there, share us about, please. And with that, I think we'll knock it off.
Yes, hopefully less insane shit next week.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there won't be. I'm sure it'll be equally as batshit crazy. So
we're trying to manifest normality back.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But we shall see. Right.
Okay, well, have a lovely weekend, everybody. Take care.
Yep. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.